There are 3 main takedowns in the sport of wrestling: single legs, double legs, and high crotches. I've already done instructionals on single legs and double legs, so we got to move on to high crotches. To warm up for a second before we start. So we're going to go over 3 different high crotch variations. The first one is the knee over toe shot. It's the traditional way to hit a high crotch. Very similar to a double leg. It looks just like this. My partner's going to be in a scarecrow. I'm going to step my lead leg, which is my right leg, in the middle of his legs. It is going to be slightly more towards the foot I'm going to attack. So instead of stepping directly in the middle, it's going to be a little bit closer to this leg, the leg I'm going to attack. So I'm here. If I'm too far away, I'll step my back foot in. I step right here. After I step, I push off my back leg, hit my knee, and I'm grabbing this leg right here. As my knee hits, my trail leg, which is my left leg, steps around, and I pivot around the back. All right, so I'm here in my stance, okay? Step my back foot in, step my right foot in deep, drive to my knee. Now my right hand is going to go up high around his leg like this as I drive in. My back leg swings around, and I'm going to do what's called a windshield wipe. So as my left foot steps up, my right leg, look, is going to pivot. They come together like that, together. As I pivot, my left hand is punching deep in between his legs like this. Okay, turn this way. Big step, reach here, drive. Right arm's high up, not down, it's up here. As I step around, this hand punches deep, elbow joint, back of the hamstring, just like this. And I'm looking across the back here. I'm at an angle. I'm not facing him directly. I'm on the side of him. Okay, go this way. Here, big step. All right, if I have to step my left leg in a little bit, I will. Step in, reach with 2 hands, drive. My trail leg steps up, and I pivot with both legs as I punch my left arm deep and look across the back. Next way to hit a high crotch is an outside step. So I'm going to skip the first step where I step in the middle and hit my knee. All I'm going to do is take my back leg, step it forward, and drop to my right knee. So I'm here. I'm just going to do this. Very simple. Here, here. Okay? Here, here. Once I hit here, we're in the same position as before. Pivot around. So this leg does a little step. My back leg pivots, and I punch my left arm deep. Okay? Face this way. Here, I just step. Boom, right here. Then I punch my back arm deep and look across the back. Okay? Another variation of this is I do the same step, but if I'm far away, I slide my knee in. So here's what I mean. I'm here. Say I'm a little further back. I'll step. But if there's space here, I'll then slide my right knee in like that. So I'm here. If I have too much space, I'll go to step and then shoot my knee in like that. I want my hip bone on his knee, my back straight, head up. Then my back arm goes deep, and I pivot around. Okay, show you guys another angle of that. Probably this way is good. So I'm here, outside step, slide the hips in, punch your back arm deep, and it's hugging above his knee, elbow deep, and I can transition off there. Last one, I just threw this one in for fun. It's not, I guess it's not really a high crotch, but it is an outside, head outside single, which is another name for high crotch. So I'll call it a low crotch, okay? I've shown this before in the past on my re-attack video, but I'm gonna shoot like I would shoot a high crotch, just much lower. So instead of my hand going up here, it's going to go and grab the heel. Okay, so I'm here. I'm going to step. I'm also not stepping right here because I'm going to be low on his leg. I'm going to have a little more space. So I'm not stepping here and hitting the hips. I'm actually going to be stepping not as close and getting low in this position. Now I drive to my knee, hand scoops the heel, my head's on the outside, and I start pivoting and putting my head into the back of his knee here and collecting the double from behind. So I'm here. Don't step as deep with this one. Just kind of squat down. Knee goes to the mat, close to his toe. Hand goes to the heel. My head's going to the outside. So not normal low single like this. My head's on the outside here. When your head's on the outside, I've got to pivot and face my opponent, put my head into the back of his knee to buckle him to the mat here. It's a little bit of a race because when I'm in this position, my partner is going to be trying to step and face me this way. So go ahead and step that way. So it's a little bit of a race here. Keep stepping a little bit. It's a race for who can get behind the back. Okay, so those are the 3 variations we have for our high crotch. I'm not going to talk any more about that last one we did. I'm going to focus on the outside step or the knee over toe penetration for the rest of the video. So those are the mechanics of the 3 shots. Now we move on to setups. The setup is so important. If you don't have a good setup, you can't get to the legs in the first place. And that's where every shot starts with, okay? First one we're going to do is my personal favorite, club high crotch. I'm in my stance against my opponent. Elbows are in. First, I close the gap. So I'm not far away. I shuffle into my opponent. Little tip, never switch lead legs. Shuffle. Shuffle into my opponent. Keep my heavy right lead leg. Once I'm close enough, my head's pretty close to his head, my back hand, left hand, is going to club on his neck with my elbow down like this. Boom. Okay, as I club, my head is going to go to my forearm, okay, just like this, kind of glued like that. As he goes to reach his hand up, I'm going to shoot my high crotch. So I'm here, I close the gap, I club. As he reaches up, my hand then drops to my side, like my arm, back of my arm, tricep, comes to my lat, comes to my side. And then I shoot up into the hip, step my trail leg up as I pivot around, punch my back arm deep, step up, and finish. And I'll describe the finishes more later. Let's just focus on the setups though for now. A main reason why I make sure my forehead is glued to my forearm is because when I club, a lot of times they'll try to dig inside. Here's what I mean. When I'm here, when I club, they'll try to come in and they'll get like an inside tie. So to prevent that from happening and to force them to come over the top, when I club, my forehead come to my forearm and block the space so they can't come in here and are forced to go over top. So I'm here, club. Now he's forced to he maybe tries to come. Actually, I'll circle this way. That might be a little easier. So I block the space. He tries to come in. It's not working. So when he comes over the top, I can shoot my high crotch, pivot around. Another little detail again. We'll work finishes more later. Ear is on his back, and it's pushing the weight towards this foot. That's the kind of pressure I'm giving him that I'm driving through. Show you guys that one more time. Partner's over here in my stance. I close the gap, club, pull my arm back, drive in, pivot around, finish. Show you guys one more time actually with the outside step. So instead of the knee over toe penetration, I close the distance, I club, and I just step here. Okay, shoulders a little bit out, so I'll bring it in a little more. Pivot around, run it down. Next setup is going to be a post. So I'm here with my opponent. He's got a collar tie on me with his right hand. I need to make sure this arm is straight. So if it's bent a little bit, I'll take 2 thumb blocks and push straight. Then from here, my left hand is going to make a V, letter V, point towards the ceiling, palm facing my opponent, and I'm gonna post above his elbow. As I post, my right hand is gonna come to my hip, and I'm gonna take a big step. Then I'm gonna drive in, pivot, finish the high cross. Again, we're in our stance here. He goes to tie up with me, get some space with the thumb block. Now the arm is straight. I can post, step, and drop my right hand to my hip. Boom, here. Look at those legs, how they pivot at the same time. As the trail leg steps up, they pivot. Cut the corner, back elbow deep, run it down. One more from a different angle. So we're here in our stance. We tie up, thumb blocks, create space, post, step, arm to my hip, drive through, cut the corner, drive him right over to his hip. Next setup, underhook. Here, post. I have a whole series on underhooks, but when you do underhook, I like a club underhook, but I don't like reaching with my lead hand. So I'll post with my backhand, I'll club with my lead hand, and I'll dig my underhook. Once I'm here, I can grab his neck and pull him down to the mat, which will force him to stand up. Then I can shoot into my high crotch. So free hand grabs the back of the neck. I pull and circle. Then I drop, open my elbow up this way, drive in. Now we're in the same position. Cut the corner, run it down. I'm here, post, club, underhook. All right, I can also just build pressure up here. And when he pushes back, I can do that outside step. So my left leg steps forward, elbow opens up, open up big, right to there. Pivot around, drive through the hips. Show you guys one more time from a different angle. Post, club, underhook, build some pressure up. He steps back. When the pressure's there, I open up, right to here. We'll work on some other finishes in a little bit. Next setup, elbow pass. So if my opponent has a bent arm, so he has a bent arm, I can't create space to do my post. I'm just gonna take my hand, palm facing the ceiling. Thumb is gonna go into the crook of his elbow, and I'm gonna grab his tricep. From here, I'm gonna build some pressure up. I'm gonna shuffle into the arm and pass the arm off my head. As I pass, my head is gonna turn into his head, and I'm gonna duck and slip the arm, slip the hand off of my top of my head. So you have that. I grab, thumb goes into the elbow joint, grab the tricep, build some pressure up. Now my head is gonna turn into him. I'm gonna shuffle left and slip the arm off my head. And I pull downwards towards the mat as I do so. All right, here, elbow. My head's gonna turn into him. After we've built up some pressure, I'm gonna shuffle and this hand's gonna slip off the head like that. All right, as I do that, I'm setting my feet to shoot my high crotch. So I shuffle and then face me a little bit. So we'll be here, and I shoot right in to my high crotch, punch it deep, run it down. One more time. I'll do the motion fully here. Grab the elbow. I'm gonna build some pressure up. I'm gonna shuffle to the side, pass it off. Feet are in the right position, ready to go. Shoot right through, pivot, drive right through the hips. Last two I'm gonna do, inside tie, open up elbow. So I'm here with my inside tie. This is how I like to get my inside tie. I club with my backhand, and then he'll grab my elbow normally, and then I'll inside tie. Again, I'm here, club, inside tie, okay? I'm gonna grab all my fingers wrapped around and grab up into his armpit area. I have a whole instructional on inside tie and collar tie if you wanna know more details on this inside tie. But for now, all 4 fingers and a thumb, grabbing the armpit. So I'm right here. Now, once I'm here, I'm gonna circle him and pull down on his head. So my right hand goes collar tie, I'm gonna circle towards my back leg and pull down. Okay? The reason why I'm gonna do that is because when I pull down, he's gonna wanna stand up. As he wants to stand up, I'm gonna let go. He'll pop up just a little bit. So I pull, I let go, he pops up a little bit, and I shoot into my high crotch. Okay? So I'm here, club, inside tie, immediately start circling towards the left. Circle this way. And start pulling on his head. As he goes to pop up, I drop my right hand. Now, a very important detail when you're doing a high crotch from this position, you gotta make sure your inside tie drops to your hip. So your tricep goes to your side. If you don't do that, you're gonna get caught in this position. If you're hitting a fireman's, that's okay. If you're not hitting a fireman's, it's not a great position to be in. Go real quick. So, as you're in the inside tie and you go in, drop that left hand down so it doesn't get trapped as you're shooting this high crotch. Okay? So I'm here. I club with my backhand. I circle to the inside tie. Head normally goes into the side of his neck at this point. I start pulling on his head and circling. As he goes to pop up, I let go of the hand that's on the head, step in, drive to my knee. My left hand comes to my side. I shoot through, pivot together, punch deep, shoulder stays tight, run him down. Last one I'm going to show you guys is just opening up an elbow. So if you like the elbow pass, this works together with that. So I have the elbow here. If my opponent keeps his elbow a little bit high, it's hard to pass, but I can open it up and hit a high crotch instead. So I might try to pass a little bit. It's not there. Same grip as the elbow pass. Thumb goes into the crook of the elbow. I grab the tricep. This time I'm going to open up, take a big step. It can be an outside step or just the regular knee over toe penetration. Open to here. Okay. Once I'm here, hips in. See how that my hips coming in, shift the weight to the far leg. It brings this leg off the mat. My head pushing into his back. Punch deep, run it down, get the finish. Show you guys that one again. Show you from this angle. I think this is probably the best angle. This time I'll go knee over toe penetration. Maybe I try to pass, it's not working. Open up and step, boom. Drive, pivot, punch deep, run it down, finish. All right, so those are all the setups. Now we're gonna go into our finishes. First thing we're gonna work on is finishes on our feet. So first I'm gonna break down high crotch to double, which we've done a couple times. So my partner's over here, okay? I'll just do club high crotch. So I club, I high crotch, and I'm here. Now here's the details to finishing. I wanna transition all the weight towards his left leg. I also wanna get this leg up and away from me so that it doesn't get caught in between my legs. Very common issue when people go high crotch to double is they punch deep and they end up here and his leg is in between mine and it becomes an issue. And he uses this leg to hook and mess with my finish. So my hips being in and my head going into his back will help shift his leg up. So I can push weight towards his hands, this leg will naturally come off the mat. Once off the mat like this, I can punch deep, and when I step up, reach around the second leg. As I'm here, I can pop and lift or just run him down to his hips. I'll post a lot of times on the mat or sprawl so I don't get rolled through. Show you guys that one more time. So I'm here, high crotch, okay? I'm going to pivot, head goes into his back because I'm trying to put all the weight here. So my body positioning is making this leg light and putting all the weight here. So I'm pushing my hips in, head's going into his back, I'm punching deep and running down just like that. Next finish, if my opponent tries to block me from going double, so turn this way. So when I'm here, common thing people do is they'll take this hand and block your tricep, so I can't double off here, okay? So in that case, don't shift as much. Rotate this way. Yep, so you can see this angle. So if I can't go double, what I'm going to do is I'm going to still come up to my feet. I'm going to lock 2 hands around one leg, and now I'm going to step back and sit him to his butt. So my left foot is going to step back like this, and I'm going to hike him to the mat. I want him to fall and me not to fall. Once he's fallen over, I'll make sure the legs don't get in the way, and I'll cover on top. So if you stand up, you can't double off. Immediately try to run the pipe on your opponent and sit him to his butt. So I'm here. I step in. He's blocking. I come up to my feet here in this good squat position. I can't double off because he's blocking. I'm just going to step my left leg back and hike him to the floor. Think of it like bowing down. So I step back and I bow to the mat. I can let go of these things so he's not grabbing onto me. Clear the foot out of the way. Cover on top. So without a partner, I'm here. I step back and I bow. I bow down. I don't really squat as much. It's not a squat. My shoulder goes into his top of his leg and I sit him down like this. Another thing I'll do when I run the pipe, my hands are up high. I transition them to going down low. So they're on the calf. That will make his legs straight and almost gives him a leg bar, makes him fall over even easier. So notice that while I finish. So I'm here. I'm up on my feet. Look at my hands. I'm going to transition them from here to here, below the knee into the calf area. I'm trying to finish. It's not working. I drop my hands low, step back, sit him to the mat. He falls and I don't. Then I prevent any weird scrambles, cover on top. Now, if he is balanced, I'll go to a crotch lift. So I'm going to try to run the pipe on him. He's going to hop and not let me sit him to his butt. Then I'm going to turn back in the other way, punch deep, and just lift him in the air with one leg. So I'm here, okay? I'm going to try to sit him. He's just going to hop. Then I'm going to take my left hand and punch really deep. I want to get as high up on his leg as possible, and my hips are going to come in. So I'm here, hips in, lift, and then transition to double, drop back to knee, finish. So we'll face this direction. I'm here. All right, I can't go double. All right, now I'm going to go to run the pipe. He goes to circle, my hand transition. My hands are low, they transition back up high. Hips come in, step, step, lift. Once I lift, my right hand can transition to double and drive to my knee and finish. Now, if I go to double off and he hooks my arm, we have a couple different options from here. So this happens pretty often. You'll be in on a high crotch. You'll go to double and they'll underhook this side. If this happens, what I'm going to do is my hand's going to go from here up to the top of his head, and I'm going to essentially do a knee pick. So I was here, I can't, he got the underhook, my hand transition up, I'm just going to drive him straight back this way and kind of cartwheel over top. So I go to double off, he hooks, I'm just going to step my left leg forward, kind of knee pick him over his back. So go back this way, it's probably the best. Here, I go to double off, he hooks. All right, the hand transitions up to the neck, and I drive straight back this way. Kind of cartwheeling over. Give you guys one more angle of that. Maybe, I think this way. So here, I go to transition off, he hooks. I am gonna go and step. I'm gonna pick this leg up, my right hand's shifting up high, and I'm driving him back to his butt, cartwheeling over and finishing. Now, if he is balanced when I go to do that, I'm going to transition back to a lift. So I'm going to be going this way. He's going to keep his balance. I'm going to go the opposite way. Lift up, pull down. So I think this will work. We're here. I go to transition off. I'm here. Now I go to bring him this way. He bounces a little bit. I'm just going to transition the other way. Hips come in, lift, and finish. Show you guys that one more time. So I think this way. So I'm here. I try to double off. He hooks my underhook. My arm's trapped. I try to bring him back. He hops. Then look, I'm just going to grab. Hands coming up high. Hips in and lifting him towards his head. I'm going to touch back on the finish where I knee pick. I want to show you guys the details of this cartwheel finish. When you're in that position, they're going to feel comfortable to try and elevator you. An elevator is when you use your foot to flip them over top of you. So the cartwheel is going to really help stop that. So when I'm here, I double off. I get caught here. Let's come back a little bit. So he's in a position, especially grab my chin with your other hand. Just don't grab the mic. So here. So if he has my chin like this too, he can definitely elevator me. So as I go to drive, this right hand's ready to post on the mat here, and I'm able to flip to my opposite side here. So that's why we got a cartwheel, because that's a very good position for them to elevator and actually pin you. So I'm posting, flipping my feet over to the opposite side. Last finish we have on our feet. I'm in the high crotch here, and I'm having trouble finishing the second leg. I can actually pick it up and go back to this position, essentially a single leg. So hop back here a little bit. Turn this way. Right here. Okay, so we're here. I was in here. I shuffle back. Pledge of allegiance. So hand scoops around the ankle. I go to my chest, and I stand up tall. Now, how we finish from here is our left foot trips the ankle, and my right hand clubs the head. I put him to his butt. As he falls, I can cover. Okay, so we end up shooting in on this high crotch, having trouble finishing. I can step out, shift back to here. Then all I'm gonna do from here, club with my right, trip with my left, and sit him to his butt. I don't like going through this way. I want you to go with left because it gives you a little more balance. Here, cover. Make sure they don't do anything crazy, okay? Last thing we can do from there, we can actually finish the other way. So if I'm going to trip with my right foot, I'll pull him towards the front. And I'll do this because a lot of people, they're gonna wrestle you sideways, kind of like this, because they know you're gonna try to club them backwards. That's the most common finish here. So if they're wrestling here, kind of leaning towards their hands, I'll grab the collar tie and I'll bring them forwards. So if you can't bring them back, they're leaning, they're giving you this kind of look leaning that way, just grab the head, trip forwards. Now we're going to go to finishes on the mat. So we're here. Come over here real quick. Go ahead and sprawl. First thing we're going to do is, if I shoot my high crotch and they sprawl, the number one thing you want to do is just finish back to a double. So I shot, he sprawled, I'm here. I'm going to step my left leg forward, slide my knee in, punch deep, and then finish my double, okay? So over here. I shoot my high crotch, they sprawl. I step forward with my left foot, slide in deep, and then I'll pivot and start finishing right here. Okay? The main thing is they want to extend you. You want to get your back nice and straight. You can have your butt back down on your heel like this, not the biggest deal, but you definitely want to be in a straight line. You don't want to be bent over, all right? Now, just like before, come over here this way. They will block my arm from going double. So go to your knees real quick. All right, and he'll block here so I can't come here. So what I'll do is I'll just try to step and pivot and try to get his knee to hit the mat. So keep blocking though. So I'm gonna step and pivot, and I'm gonna try to get that knee to hit the mat. Once the knee hits the mat, I know I can't double, but my hand can come straight through and grab ankle. So I can't go double, but I can reach through and grab the far ankle. Pull it in, knock him to his hip, circle. Now I take my hand out and come for a crossface. Show you guys that one again from a different angle. So put your back facing the camera. So I'm here. I'm in on the high crotch. They sprawl. All right, I'm going to try to pivot to get that opposite knee down. Here, once the knee's down, I can't go double, but I can just grab this ankle here. Grab it, pull it in, circle towards the leg, and then I'm going to take my hand out through here and look for a crossface. I can also just double off. It just depends on if they're still blocking or not. Now, if my opponent is leaning over top of me, I can do what's called an Iranian or an out the back door finish. So if I'm here and my opponent is kind of leaning on top of me here. Okay, say I'm here, but I feel them leaning on me. What I can do is slide my knees underneath me and pop my shoulder up. So my shoulder's in tight. I slide my knees in, down, and then I pop up like this. And I'm transferring my weight towards my left hand to bring them over top of me. Now all I'm gonna do is just kind of pivot my feet, and I can come straight out the back door here, through here, and come on top. He may fall over as you're doing that, but you should be in a pretty advantageous position, okay? So we're here, he sprawls, but he's kind of leaning on me. I'm just gonna slide my knee in and go to both knees. So slide here. Then I'm gonna bring my shoulder up, slide through. I can also swivel my head to the opposite side. So I was here, swivel to the opposite side and look to get back points right here. That's another option. But I'll show you guys this one more time. Really works well when they're draping on top of you. So I guess this is probably the best angle. I'm here, I feel them draping on me. I'm just gonna slide my knees under, lift my shoulder up. Now I can pop my head to the other side if I want. Look for a cradle, low leg cradle here. Get the pin. The last finish from the mat is I can shelf the leg up on my hip and go double. So my opponent sprawls. Here's what I like to normally do. I'm going to drop low on the leg. So I'm up high, shoulders up high. I'm gonna snake the ankle, so my hand's gonna grab the shoe, and I'm gonna drop super low as I pivot my body. So step, grab the ankle, and windshield wipe and drop to my butt. Okay? So I'm like this. I'm gonna step, hands going to the shoe. I'm just doing that. Step, that, okay? And then stay on this knee, like shin area. So go ahead and sprawl a little bit. So I'm here, I step, hand goes to the shoe, and I sit to my butt here. Once I'm here, I'm gonna post my right hand. I'll show you guys in a second, but I'm gonna post my right hand. My left hand's gonna grab the ankle. I'm gonna shelf it up. Then I'm gonna double off. Show you guys that from a different angle. I think like right here. Kind of like this. Go ahead and sprawl. So we're here. Hand goes to the shoe, step, pivot, hand goes to the shoe. This hand's gonna post to help me lift the leg up onto my hip or onto my thigh. Then my left hand's gonna transition to the behind the knee, double, finish. All right. Now we're going to crackdown finishes. We got a handful of these, so I'll rip through them pretty quick for you guys, all right? First finish, probably the one you should spend the most time on. My partner's on his butt. Here's a crack. Actually, go back up real quick. I'll force a crackdown so you guys know what it is. So sprawl. All right, so I'm here, shoulders tight. All right, here's kind of the rule. My hands are up, I'm going double. Hands are down, I'm going crackdown. Hands up, double. So if I'm here, I'm going double, I'll switch down to here. Kind of two hands go to the calf. Double, high crotch. Sit them down. Now, circle this way. Once I'm here, my goal is to shelf this leg up on my hip. So I'm trying to pick this leg up onto my hip here. From here, I want to post my right hand back up to my knees and collect two. The battle for the high crotch in most positions is your shoulder. If I can keep my shoulder tight on his leg, I know I can score. If he can scooch around, I know he can score. So let's go this angle so they can see the shoulder. So here, if my shoulder comes out like this, he's in a better position than me. So I need to make it a very big priority to slide back and keep my shoulder positioning into his hip. Now from here, I shelf the leg up on my hip. Don't drive into them. Back out, back out, back out, back out, and go double. If you drive in on them when they're in the crackdown position, it helps them to pivot around. So here's what I mean. If I'm here and I drive into him, he can pivot and get behind me. Okay? So it's very important to back out from that position. Now, face this way. A very good competitor is going to take this knee and block in my side. So take this knee over here, and block. So I can't double off here. See, my arm's stuck here. The arm is stuck. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to sprawl my hip down and circle towards that leg. So I'm here, sprawl down, circle towards that leg. Now my right knee is going to come to the outside of his shoe. So I'm here, come to the outside. Now I'm going to scoop the knee in, and my right hand is going to reach under like this and grab the shoe. I'm going to pull it in tight, and I'm going to keep circling over that side. Once I circle through, my right hand's coming up, posting, and I'm getting the takedown. The point is this. I want to circle around him, but his knee is in the way. So I have to make his knee, so he's like this. I have to make his knee open up more, and get low enough where I can bring my body over top of it. So this is probably the best look here. So you're down, crackdown position. So I'm here. I sprawl back. I circle. My knee goes here. I scoop it in. My right hand grabs the shoe. I pull it more, and I start circling around that knee. My right hand comes through and posts armpit to armpit, and I shuffle into him. Show you guys one more angle of that one. Let's go from here. So I'm here. All right. I'm going to sprawl to the mat. I know you guys can't see what's happening with my backside, but you'll see what my arms are doing. I scoop the ankle, scoop it in. Now my right hand that's in deep reaches and grabs the shoe. I pull it in more like that. I circle, circle, circle. Once I'm here, I reach up. My armpit goes to his armpit, and I put my stomach to the mat. Next finish, I'm going to shelf his leg on the outside of my hip, drive into him, and then back out. So I'm here. Let's face this direction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right hand, snake it down. I'm going to go to the outside, and I'm going to switch knees and shelf it up on my hip. This is going to make him get nervous because I'm putting him on his back. So it will give me space to back out and cover on top here. Show you guys again. I'm here. I'm having trouble finishing. My right hand snakes down here. I come to the outside, step my right leg up and pick the leg up. That will start getting him on his back. Then I can back out and cover on top. Show you guys one more angle, maybe this way. So I'm here. My hand snakes to the shoe or the ankle, circle, step up, posting my hands so I don't get flipped, trying to get some exposure on his back so he kind of gets a little nervous. Then I'll back out and get the takedown. All right, now next one, I'm trapping his arm. So if he has a chest lock on me, all right, I'm going to take my left arm, the one that's on the outside, and I'm going to reach back and scoop above his elbow, above this elbow joint, so up on his tricep. Then I'm going to go to my forehead, and I'm going to go to my hip. So I'm going to come up onto my forehead, circle, 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 go to my hip as my head pops out on this side. When my head pops out, I can cover back on top. Circle this way. There's a couple different variations of this one. You can keep the leg and put him on his back, but I'll show you this one what I just did one more time. I hook the elbow, go to my forehead into a front bridge. I bring him to his back, and then my head pops out here, and I cover on top. This one I'm going to show you guys keeping the leg. So actually circle back this way. Just come to me a little more. So I'm here. This time I'm going to keep the leg. So I grab, hook above his elbow, circle, circle, circle. Now I'm going to sit and keep his leg, and you can end up in a pinning position. From here, my hand switches down to the heel, and I'm going to pull his foot to the mat. I can even reach up and hook it and look for a fall here. Show you guys that one more time. So it's this way. I'm reaching up, hooking his arm, circling out, sitting up, but keeping his heel. Pull, my hand switches from calf down to shoe, pull down, step over, and get the fall. Now I can fake the roll to give me space for my double leg. So go this way. I talked to you guys about earlier, this knee is going to be blocking so I can't double off. So if I'm here, I can't double off. So what I'll do is I'll trap the arm and I'll fake like I'm going for the roll, and that will give me space. Now I have space to double off and hop back over. So I'll grab that tricep, fake the roll, just to give me space to get my right arm free. Yeah, here's mine. So he has the chest lock, reach up. I start to go to bring him to his back. Just fake a little bit. Then my right hand has space. I reach it, switch to double, hop my hips over. Another way I can get some back exposure is I can hook this leg with my leg. So I'm here, I can take my right leg and I can lift up and hook it here. So the leg that's in between. So we're here, I'm gonna lift this leg up and hook with my right leg. Now from here, I can kind of elevate him to his back. And then as he feels like he's getting, pinned essentially, I can look for space to get my right arm out and go double. This position a lot of times is about making your opponent uncomfortable by putting him on his back. In college, if you put them on their back for 3 seconds or 5 seconds, you'll get the takedown even if you don't have control. So being able to put them on their back and get them nervous will give you the space to finish the takedown. So I'm going to snake my right hand down, elevate, and hook with my right leg. Now from here, I'm going to elevate him to his back. All right, don't go too far because you don't want to get flipped. But because you have this leg hooked, it's hard for them to flip. Now, once you have space, you can take your right arm out and just cover. Okay? Show you guys one more time with that one. Let's sit this way. We're here. I'm just going to snake down, pick it up, hook here. Now I'm going to start elevating him to his back. Now my right hand's going to come out, post, and I'm going to finish there. All right, this next one is when you're trying to crack the person down, but they're not going all the way to their hip. We can still finish by hooking his outside leg. So come this way, go ahead and sprawl a little bit. So I'm trying to crack him down, but maybe he posts and he's standing on his feet here. So if I'm having trouble cracking him down, I can just start circling and I can actually just step my right leg up and hook over top of this left leg. Once I hook, I just keep circling in, take my hand out, and score. Show you guys another angle of that. Let's have your back facing this way. Good. Partner goes to sprawl. I try to crack him down, but he posts. I'm going to circle, switch knees, and step over top. Step over top of that foot that's up and drive him to his hip, come out, hover on top. Show you guys again. This one's a little tricky, so I want to make sure you guys get it. Coming a little closer. We're here. Go ahead and sprawl. I go to crack him down. He posts. I'm just going to circle and step right over top. Keep bumping him to his hip and come on top. Now, the next one we can do is a cradle. So I have my opponent sit in your butt real quick. We're here. This will be the last one. Then I'm going to show you guys preventing the crackdown. Then we'll be done for today. So I'm here. Okay. What I'm going to do is fall to my hip. All right. And this will not be there if they have this arm kind of trapped too much. So this technique will be there if they're posting. So post this hand on the mat. So if you're wrestling somebody that's posting, you can even grab this hand for sure. But if they don't have your arm blocked, I can get a pin with my cradle. So I'm here. His hand's posted instead of being around my armpit. I'm going to drop to my hip, and my hand's going to go up to his head. All right? So I drop to my hip, hand comes up to the head, and I'm going to hit it hard. So hit the cradle really hard and go back to a front bridge. So come up this way, boom, 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 boom. Lock it up first, and then finish in a front bridge. All right? Or this way. If he's in a chest lock, so go ahead and go a chest lock on me, it might be hard to get, you're not going to be able to get your hand around the head, so it's not going to make sense to do it then. But if his hand is posted, I drop low, kind of in a little tight ball here, hand comes up, hits the back of the head, and I go to a front bridge. Drive it up, get the pin. I recommend doing this move pretty quickly because you don't want to get caught You don't want to get caught like almost getting put to your back here, essentially. Now, last thing I'm going to show you is preventing the crackdown. So as somebody goes to sit the corner, this is the motion you're going to do. So I'm here in the high crotch. As they go to sit the corner, I'm going to step, pivot, drop my butt to my heel, and grab the ankle like this. And I post my hand. So here, step, pivot, and sit to my heel. Here. Step, step. Okay. As they go to sit the corner and you do that technique, you're going to be in a really good position to just shelf his leg and finish. So I'm here. Go ahead and sit the corner. I'm coming right there. And I'll even push myself back. Then I elevate the leg on my hip, and I can cover on top. So you guys that a couple times. My opponent's trying to sit the corner, and I'm just preventing it. Go ahead. And I back out, shelf it up, cover. So if you know the guy's really good at sitting the corner on you, be ready for that finish. So I'm here. I shoot my high crotch. As I shoot the high crotch, I'm already going to go right to that finish. So go ahead and sit, post, elevate, and come on top. That's all I got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see anything specific, just throw it in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and put the notification bell on so that you're notified when any of my new instructionals come out.